Hello everyone. Today, you get to learn the coolest language out there, in just 25 minutes. It's Morse code. So what is Morse code? It's a way to communicate, using just dots and dashes, or we can say it's and does. Like this. Okay. So, why should you learn it? First of all, Morse code is so cool that you don't have to say a word, or create a tone. Just blink. Or, turn your mobile's flashlight on and off. Or, you can even dance like a monkey. And that's it. You've spoken. Secondly, you can send secret hints to your friends in front of people without them even noticing. Thirdly, in an actual dangerous situation, you can also ask for help using Morse code. You can research on the internet to find so many actual instances just like that. And last but not least, you can feel like a spy. I mean, why not, right? Now that you understand what Morse code is, how will this tutorial help you? Unlike hundreds of tutorials out there, we will not just show you tricks to learn Morse code, because you will realize that it is too difficult to remember the letters. So, what we will do is, we will hammer each letter into your head in a fun way within this 25 minutes. And, after this tutorial ends, you will never have to study again. Moreover, it won't cost you anything. We won't even ask you to subscribe just yet. First, see if you get to learn something cool today. Now make a cup of coffee, put aside everything for half an hour, and have fun. Our first letter is A. In Morse code, A is a dot and a dash. We can also call it dit and da. Again, A is dit, da. Now what rhymes with dit, da? A part. A part. Right? You are sad when you and your loved ones are apart. Right? A part. Now notice how it matches with the real Morse code sound. Apart. Apart. Now, our next letter is B. B is dash, dot dot dot. Or, da, dit. Remember, all of the letters are designed in counterclockwise manner. So it is not dit, da. Rather it is da, dit. Again, da, dit. Now, what rhymes with that sound? Bob is the man. Bob is the man. You remember Bob the Builder? When you need to fix something, Bob is the man. Now along with the Morse code, Bob is the man. Bob is the man. Next, C. C is dash, dot, dash, dot. Again, remember, it's counterclockwise, so, da, dit, da, dit. Da, dit, da, dit. And the word for C is co-la. We all know Coca-Cola, right? So, is Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. D is dash, dot dot. Again, da, dit. Da, dit. Remember B? See the similarity between them? B has 3 horizontal lines and 3 dots, where D has 2 horizontal lines, and hence, 2 dots. Okay, now, what rhymes with da, dit? Dog did it. Suppose the dog has done something to anger your mother, and she is asking who did it? You say, dog did it. See the guilty look on the dog's face? Try to remember it. Dog did it. Dog did it. Now, a little review. This time, try to memorize them and say the catchphrases, along with the tones, like this. Apart. 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 Continue. Our next letter is E. E has the shortest code. It's just a dot. You see, E is the most used letter in English alphabet, and the more a letter is used in English language, the shorter it is in Morse code, because it takes less time to use the letter frequently. Let's say it again. Dit. dit. And the word for E is A. Imagine Bugs Bunny says it in its own voice.
What's up, Doc?
A. A. Now, F is a little hard. So try to concentrate. It is dot dot dash dot. Remember it's anti-clockwise. Again, dit dit da. Dit. Dit dit da. Dit. And the rhyme for F is, for the future. If I ask you, why are you learning Morse code? You might say, to acquire a skill, for the future. For the future.
Next, G. G is dash, dash, dot.
Again, counterclockwise. Da, da, dit. Da, da, dit. Can you recall C? C is da, dit, da, dit. And G is da, da, dit. When it comes to similar letters, try to remember the subtle differences. Now, the line for G is good God, Tom. Remember that episode? Where Tom destroys everything trying to catch Jerry, and Tom's owner shouts at Tom, like, good God, Tom. Good God, Tom. Good God, Tom.
Now, H. H is pretty easy.
It is dot 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 dot. Again. Dit 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 dit. Dit 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 dit. Notice that E is dit, and H is dit 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 dit. The word for H is helicopter. You can see it has 4 blades on its head. So, helicopter. 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 Now try to say the catchphrases along with the Morse codes. Notice the letter figures too.
Our next letter is I. I is simply dot, dot.
Again, I is dit dit. Dit dit. Now, recall E and H. See the similarities? E is dit.
H is
Dit 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 dit. And I is dit dit. Notice that I is just half of H. And the sentence for I is one of the most basic sentences in English language. I eat. Who eats? I eat. I eat. I eat.
now, J. J is represented by
dot, dash, dash, dash. Again, counterclockwise. Did, da, 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 did, da, da, da. Recall that B is da, did, and J is did, da, da, da. Now, the line for J is Tom joins Jolly Jerry. We have all seen that sometimes Tom joins Jolly Jerry to fight someone else. Imagine that right here. Tom joins Jolly Jerry. Tom joins Jolly Jerry. Tom joins Jolly Jerry. Next letter, K. K is dash, dot, dash. Again. Da, dit, da. Da, dit, da. Now, name the Australian animal with a pouch to carry its child. Yes, it's kangaroo. Kangaroo. Now with Morse code. Kangaroo. Kangaroo.
Now, the letter is L.
L is dot, dash, dot, dot. Again. Dit, da, dit, dit. Dit, da, dit, dit. Notice that F is dit, dit, da, dit. And L is dit, da, dit, dit. Now, the word for L will be lobotomy. During the 1940s, it was a common type of brain surgery for curing mental disorders. So, lobotomy. 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 Now review each letter, and say the catchphrases along with them. Try to remember the letter shapes too. Okay, now that we are almost halfway through, let's have a quick look at what we have learned so far. Again, match the catchphrases with the tones. Our next letter is M. M is just dash, dash. Once more, da, 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 da. Remember, I is, dit, and M is, da, da. Now what do you say when the food is too good? Nothing. You just enjoy it like So, think of your favorite food now and say
Next letter, N. N is dash, dot.
Counterclockwise. Da, dit. Da, dit. Notice, our very first letter A is dit, da. And
N is
da, dit. The word for N is navy. We all know what navy is. So, navy. 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 Now, our next letter is O. O is dash, dash, dash. Again, da, da, da. Da, da, da. Now, recall that M is da, da, and O is da, da, da. Our line for O is, oh, my God. Those of us who have watched the popular sitcom Friends, we all remember Janice for this very line, right?
Oh my God!
So, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Next is P. Now P is a little tricky. P is dot, dash, dash, dot. Notice how we cut the small part. We did it so that you don't get confused about where to start. Now just follow the counterclockwise rule. So P is dit, da, da, dit. Dit, da, da, dit. The line we will use for P is, the Pinocchio's lie. He is a fictional character, whose nose gets bigger every time he lies. Hence, the Pinocchio's lie. The Pinocchio's lie. The Pinocchio's lie. Okay, a little summary now. Say the catchphrases along with the tones. Notice the letter designs too. Next, our letter is Q. Q is dash, dash, dot, dash. Again. Da, da, dit, da. Da, da, dit, da. Notice that O is da, da, da. And F is the opposite of Q. F is dit, dit, da, dit. Now our word for Q is queen. And what do we say to our queen? Long live the Queen. You can think of Queen Elizabeth II here. So, long live the Queen. Long live the Queen. Long live the Queen. The next letter, R, is dot, dash, dot. Counterclockwise, dit, da, dit. Dit, da, dit. Remember, P is dit, da, da, dit. K is just the opposite. K is da, dit, da, where R is dit, da, dit. In Morse code, R sounds like the word rotation. We all know what it is. So, rotation, rotation, rotation. Our next letter is S. S is dot, dot, dot. Again, dit, dit, dit. Dit, dit, dit.
Can you recall E, I, and H?
E is dit. I is dit, dit. H is dit, 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 dit. And S is dit, dit, dit. So try to remember the dit letters serially.
E, I, S, H.
Aish. Get it? Also, remember O is da, da, da. And S is dit, dit, dit. Now, since S has dots just like 3 full stops, we will use the phrase
Stop, stop, stop.
You can imagine the stop signs here.
Stop, stop, stop. Stop, stop, stop. Stop, stop, stop.
Next, the letter is T. Since T is a frequently used letter in English language, it is also one of the shortest letters in Morse code too. T is simply dash. Or you can say da. Da. Remember, T is da, M is da, da, and O is da, da, da.
Remember this 3 letters together, T, M,
O. You already remember H, right?
E, I, S, H.
Now, since you are using one tall dash for T, the word we will use for T is tall. Look how tall he is. You can also think about someone you know who is tall too. Tall. 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 Now, look at the last 4 letters again and say the phrases along with the tones. Notice the letter figures too. Okay, we are almost towards the end. Now our letter is U. U is dot, dot, dash. Remember counterclockwise rule. Dit, dit, da. Dit, dit, da. Notice that A is a shorter version of U. A is dit, da. G is the opposite of U. G is da, da, dit. D is the mirror image. D is da, dit, dit. And finally, U is dit, dit, da. Now our word for U is underground. It is a very common word and we all know it. Underground. 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 Next letter is V. V is dot, 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 dash. Or we can say dit, 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 da. Dit, 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 da. Remember, A is dit, da. U is dit, dit, da. And V is dit, 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 da. Also notice that V is the mirror image of V. V is da, dit, dit, dit. Now the catchphrase for V is victory V. This is a sign that we are all familiar with, right? So, victory V. Victory V. Victory V. Next comes W. W is dot, dash, dash. Again. Dit, da, da. Dit, da, da. Now notice the letters G and D. G is da, da, dit. D is da, dit, dit. And W is dit, da, da. Also try to remember A and J. A is dit, da. W is dit, da, da. And J is dit, da, da, da. Now, the term we will use for W is the World War. You can think of the first or the second one. It's up to you. The World War. The World War. The World War. Our next letter is X. It is dash, dot, dot, dash. Again. Da, dit, dit, da. You can imagine a cartoon face here, you see? Again. Da, dit, dit, da. Now notice that P is the opposite of X. P is dit, da, da, dit. And X is da, dit, dit, da. Then the line for X is xylophone plays. Imagine a kid playing xylophone in front of you. It's an amazing musical instrument. So, if you've never heard it, give it a try. Xylophone plays. Xylophone plays. Next comes the letter Y. Y is dash, dot, dash, dash. Since Y is a little tricky, we have cut it in the middle to better adjust the dots and dashes. You may think of the first part as a lever, with the dot as the rotating point. So, Y is da, dit, da, 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 dit, da, da. Try to recall. L is the opposite of Y. L is dit, da, dit, dit. Q is the mirror image of Y. Q is da, da, dit, da. Also remember, P and Y are the only two letters where we have cut a small part. P is dit, da, da, dit. Y is da, dit, da, da. As for the phrase, it is you, a cool dude. Who is a cool dude? You, a cool dude. You, a cool dude. You, a cool dude. And here comes our last letter, Z. Z is dash, dash, dot, dot. Again, da, da, dit, dit. Da, da, dit, dit. Now, Z does not have that many familiar words as we all know. So today, why don't we learn a new word for Z as well? It's zoomorphism. It is the use of animal forms in art. It can also mean the representation of God in the form of animals. For example, the Egyptian god of the dead, Anubis, is represented with the body of a man, and the head of a jackal. It is zoomorphism. 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 And, now a little look back at the last letters. You know the drill. Now, a little review of the last 14 letters starting from M. Continue saying the phrases along with the tones. Okay, now that you've learned all the letters, it's time to test yourself. See if you can remember all of them. If you still find some letters hard to recall, click on the links in the description of this video to jump back to those specific letters. There, notice the letter shapes, how the dots and dashes fit into them, the catchphrases, the images, and the stories behind those images. As much as you can remember. And then, come back to the Morse code alphabet link in the description, pause the video again, and repeat testing yourself. Go on, pause the video. Done? Okay. Now that you have learned all the letters, congratulations. Your first exercise now is to put your full name using Morse code in the comments below. If you can finish your full name, we would request you to subscribe to our channel. We are also desperate to learn from you about how we can improve our future videos on some amazing topics. You see, this is the first video from Castle Saga, and your feedback means a lot to us. So, let us know. Until then, happy Morse coding.